Once we've detected browser support for the workers, setting up the worker is a very simple matter. I have here a working copy of detectworkers-done.html. I'm just going to page through it here for those of you who are typing this in. It is a very simple file. And I'm going to start here up at the top where we have the variables, and I'm going to create a global variable for the worker object itself. I always initialize my variables, so I'm going to set it to null. Then I'm going to come down here to the init function, and I'm just going to get rid of the else clause here off of this testing for the worker because we really don't need an else clause. If the worker doesn't exist, that's why it's a negative test with the exclamation point. If the worker object doesn't exist, then we're just going to display the error message and return. But if it does exist, we'll go ahead with the initialization, and that looks like this. So that's referencing our new global variable that we set there at the top. Worker equals new oWorker. And that oWorker object is the one that we've initialized here with the getWorker object with that test to see if we have browser support. And we're just going to put the name of the JavaScript file inside the constructor here. That is worker find prime.js. So now we have our worker object, and we're going to go ahead and use it. I'm going to add an event handler, worker.add event listener, and we'll listen for message events, and we'll call a worker callback, which we will define in a moment, and false. The last parameter is always false. It has to do with messages bubbling up, and you're hardly ever, if ever, going to want that. And then once we've set up the listener, we're going to post a message and just going to give it a constant value of 500 just for testing purposes. So that's worker.postMessage and value 500 like that. You notice I have both curly braces and parentheses. The curly braces inside are for an anonymous object, or how it's really used in this instance in JavaScript is an anonymous associative array. JavaScript doesn't have associative arrays. Actually, their objects are built on an associative array model. So this is how you do a key value associative array in JavaScript. And so the key here is the word value, and the value here is the number 500. So now that we've added the event listener and posted a message, I'm going to go ahead and create the worker callback function. It's very simple. Callback function gets passed an event object. And so I'm going to define the value based on the event object. It'll be event.data.value. And I'm just going to display a message with that value. So it's as simple as that. I'm pressing Command S on my Mac here to save, and this is saving it out on the server. You'll notice I'm editing right on the server over SFTP. It's really convenient to have an editor that'll do this. Text Wrangler or BBEdit on a Mac will do this. Notepad++ on a PC will do this. It allows you to edit in place on the server, a really convenient functionality. So what we've done here is we have set up the worker object, added an event listener, and posted a message. Once that message gets posted, the JavaScript itself calculates that prime number and sends it back as another message event, and our worker callback here gets called with the event object that has the value in it, and then we display that with display message. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this running in the browser now. So I'll just navigate here into chapter 2 in our exercise files on the server, and this is on my server. You're going to want to run this on your own server. And I have worker setup working down here, and I'll click on that, and there's our answer. The first prime after 500 is 503. So setting up the worker is really very simple. All you need to do is create the new worker object, set up a callback, and you can start sending and receiving messages. It's really that simple.